I am Laurie Delk.
Hi, I'm Catherine Asaro Myers. Rah-rah is in the house. I'm so happy to be here today, Laurie. How are you?
I am wonderful. How are you?
I'm great. I'm laughing because I love our live show. You never know what's going to happen a millisecond before the camera goes on, like you accidentally hit the phone or it's something. I just love that we're live. I love that we are in our house hanging out. Laurie, I'm so excited about talking to you today. I have really big news for you and for our audience. So first, let's go around the room and let our audience know where we are. So today, I am speaking to you from the Niagara region in Ontario, Canada. But this will be the last time that I speak to you from this location. Our next show, I will be speaking to you from another city altogether.
Awesome. Yes, because you just sold your house, right? So you're in the middle of packing everything away.
Absolutely. I'm sitting in the wonderful living room, dining room, but in the perimeter, there are boxes.
Right.
Let's tell the audience where you're from. You're from a hot city, Laurie. This is really the place that everybody should be coming to. So tell us about where you're from.
It's the new place to go, right? Yes, so I am actually about an hour south. I live out in the country, but of Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, this is, you chose a great location. You chose a great place to be from, and I'm certainly feeling very drawn to it, especially tonight because of our guest. Before we get on to our guest, Laurie, for some of the people that are here for the first time watching our show, they might be wondering, why are we here? What are the Gratitude Girls? Why are we here tonight talking, interviewing, speaking, inviting? Our entire life is really around sharing gratitude. Our show is a byproduct of us being truly born Gratitude Girls. Maybe we can share with our audience a little bit about what's a Gratitude Girl? Do you buy it? Is it something that you buy a t-shirt and then you join? Is it a membership? How did this happen?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think it's, both of us, we have sides that it's kind of been inbred in us all our lives. For me, it started out, when I was 5 and my grandmother taught me how to send out thank you cards to anybody who gave me a gift, because she told me that they didn't have to give it to me or do something for me, and I was to show that proper gratitude, and then fast forward through many of other things in my life, but then meeting Catherine on stage. So Catherine and I are both in a greeting card and gifting company, and we didn't even know each other at our company convention. Over 200,000 distributors, and every year there's a theme, and that year was gratitude, and every year there's one winner, and that year there was a tie. And so the CEO announced all these wonderful things, and then announced Catherine up on stage. And so she was up there getting her award, and then he said that there's a tie, and he started to announce again and ended up calling my name. So Catherine and I met on stage, and then were escorted, of course, off the stage to sit together. And then literally we both just knew something was there, and something, we just felt it. And within 3 minutes, Gratitude Girls was born. So
it's so true, Laurie. That was an electric moment. I have had that happen to me before. Now, I don't know if I ever made the connection like this, but the minute I met David, as soon as our eyes locked, I knew that that was something that I had never felt before. And that was the same connection that I had with you. As soon as our eyes locked, I knew. As soon as we went down to the bottom of the steps and we kind of held hands to walk down, and you were down first, and you kind of assisted me and I assisted you, and we walked off together. That was an electric, pivotal moment, an aha, a defining moment, that here you were, no matter how else we could have met, meeting like that was like this electric moment that meant something. And how brilliant of our CEO to orchestrate that. Not that he planned it, but we certainly met on stage. And that was great. So for our audience to know, gratitude comes in many shapes and forms. We were awarded a special gratitude award, but at that moment we were awarded each other's friendship. So this is something that I'm forever grateful for, Laurie. Doing this show with you is part of who we are. I couldn't imagine what would stop us from doing a show, even if we didn't get our hair done. I don't know about you, but it's a huge event for me. So I want to tell you, everything revolves around the whole month revolves around Gratitude Girls. So thank you so much. I wanted our audience to know a little bit about that in case we have some new people. Of course, we have new viewers. We have new viewers tuning in and watching us after as a recording. And what we really have tonight is a very special guest. I have the pleasure of passing this part of the show over to Laurie to make an introduction. And then after that, we're going to hear all about this wonderful woman. Laurie, would you be kind enough to introduce our guest tonight?
Yes, absolutely. So our guest is here from Nashville also, Miss Shaterial Starnes. And Shateria has over a decade of experience working with people and the credit industry, and she has increased her own personal score from very poor to amazingly excellent. So now her passion is to teach and educate people and consult with people to help them so that way they can do other things that you need to with credit, right? So like especially buying homes and vehicles and anything that you want to do that's going to help better your life. Just having that better credit score just gives you that overall better, right? So yes, Cherie, thank you for coming to our show for us.
Cherie, welcome.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. I'm excited.
Oh, I felt that you're really able to talk to us about the report card of life, credit score, from poor to above excellence, committed to excellence. Imagine that. Imagine how our life would be if we could all say we have an excellent credit score. The doors open, right? The doors just keep opening.
Absolutely.
When we don't have an excellent credit score, if we don't have an excellent credit score, for some reason, there's an image that's portrayed. Can you talk to us a little bit about sometimes really good people don't have a good credit score, but what happens? Talk to us about this.
Actually, you heard the old adage, bad things can happen to good people. And one thing that I want your audience to know is that every 7 years, each and every one of us will experience a life-altering event, whether it's divorce, an illness, death, birth of a child, you're changing jobs, you might lose a job. Those things are inevitable and they're going to happen. And as a result, these things, these life-altering events, can impact your credit score. So, hey, we know that these things are inevitable. So what can we do to get better prepared? And I just go back to saying that, bad things can happen to good people. So let's try to get prepared and get our financial house in order just to make sure that we're a little bit ahead of the game.
That's excellent advice. Now, maybe we can talk a little bit about, we'll cover some other topics so that way you have an excellent credit score. Some people would do anything to get there. But let me ask you a question. Do you get up? Do you eat in the morning? What is a day like? Do you sleep in a special bed? Do you have a special lucky blanket? Is there something that you do? Can you tell us a little bit about what is a day in the life for you? Talk about today. What was your day like today?
Absolutely. I got up this morning and my husband got my son prepared. I was actually running late and I was like, oh my word, I'm going to be late for work. I do have a full-time job, and also I also have my business that I run as well. So I actually work for public housing and I provide social work services. I had an event today, had to work with a mentally ill resident. So my day is fully packed. I'm doing a lot of social services, handling a lot of things at one of our largest properties here. And let me just say this, it's never a dull moment. In fact, I could probably write a bestseller. Just a little bit more about me. I'm a goofball. I am silly. My family thinks that I need to be a comedian. Now, to me, I don't think that I'm that funny, but they think that I am hilarious. And my husband, it takes he and my sons talk about me. They call me boss lady because they say that I'm boss. And I'm like, no, I'm not. But I'm just a nutty person. I love to have a good time, and I'm very silly. And usually in the evenings and on the weekends, that's when I'm really working on my business. So I just want people to know that if you have a passion about something, even if you have a full-time job, you need to do something every day with your business, because those small steps are going to add up to a lot.
That's an excellent point. So during the course of the day, okay, so you get up, you eat, you do things just like we do. Is there anything that drives you absolutely nuts?
Let me see. There's probably a lot of things. People texting, this is going to sound crazy. Drippy faucets. Believe it or not, guys, I know I'll just talk to you guys a little bit about this. It's interesting enough, I am becoming my mom, and it's kind of weird, you know? I change furniture around, clutter drives me nuts, and I'm becoming my mom. So it's hilarious for my sister and my mom to see. But those are some of the things that probably drive me nuts. And my husband said, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I just went through and organized my house because it was driving me bananas. And my husband said, the house doesn't have a lot of clutter. But to me, it does. But it really helped me, my train of thought and everything.
So you like to be organized, like this is important. So this might be a very interesting sign that to have excellence in your life, you have excellence surrounding you. So not only are you excellent with your credit score, but your day-to-day life and your surroundings, for you, they need to be in order. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'm telling you, it really impacts your mind. You're just being able to free up things. It impacts every aspect of your life.
Okay, so let me ask you this. If there are some of our guests today thinking, well, okay, I'm not really worried about that, and you know, I'm going to let the clothes stay on the chair, or I'm going to take the garbage out later, or I'm just not going to worry about that dirty dish in the sink. Is there any relationship between our personal habits and our credit score?
I personally think so. I think that one of the things that I really try to educate people on is behaviors. Here's the deal. I can help people get out of debt. I can help people increase their credit score. But if we do not address the behaviors, 5 to 6 months down the road, you'll be back in the same boat. You got to get to the root, the why. Why do you have poor spending habits? Are you an impulse buyer? Are you trying to live your life through your children? Do you shop because you're depressed? You have to address these things, because if not, they're going to constantly return, and you're never going to get out of that credit or that bad credit trap, so to speak.
Now, what about, I know that we talked about this earlier. Can you relate to the fact that sometimes someone just runs out of money, or they lose a job, or their spouse loses a job? Does that affect someone's credit if suddenly their income changes or is cut in half?
Absolutely. But here's the deal. What happens oftentimes, Catherine, is that people, when they get in a financial bind, they actually panic. I encourage you to not do that. You can actually call your creditors, your mortgage company. You can contact your, if you have credit cards, and let them know what's going on. And as a result, what they will do is you can tell them what's going on. And as a result, they can add payments to the back of your loans, whether it's credit card, your car payment. There are a lot of options that you have. Believe it or not, even with your mortgage or your car your vehicle, the creditors, they do not want it because they're going to make more money off of you in the long run. So I just caution people, most people, they panic, and it's a lot of shame that's associated when you're having financial instability in your home, and then not reach out. So reach out and just ask and get advice, because it's a lot of options that you have where you can protect your credit. And as a result, you don't have to get those negative hits on your credit report.
Right. So that means that like you just said, someone might have something that impacted them. They might be in a bit of a freeze frame mind. And if they keep it to themselves and don't say anything, and they don't call their creditors, then they're viewed one way. But when you open up communication and you express and explain the situation, you're not viewed as someone who's running away. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because understand, things happen. Things happen that are clearly out of your control, and creditors understand that, and they're willing to work with you. You just have to ask. Sometimes a closed mouth doesn't get fed, so you got to speak up.
That's an excellent statement. Now, can I ask you a little bit about you? Who are you grateful for? Is there something that happened? Was there a pivotal moment in your life, something that you would like to share with us, that our audience can get to know you better as well? Excuse me.
I'm sorry. Absolutely. My grandmother, I think I'm extremely grateful for her, because she has instilled values and morals in me. And then I just look at her life, all the adversity that she has been through, and she's just an amazing person. In spite of everything, she's still standing. And then I would have to say, my husband, 7 years ago, he had a massive stroke. So he had to learn how to walk, talk all over again. And within a 7-month period, I lost my vehicle. My husband had a stroke 3 weeks later. And then 7 months later, my mother-in-law passed. So it was a very difficult time for us. But my husband, I'm telling you, he has the heart of a lion. So even though he went through all of that, I'm just grateful, just his stick-with-itness, his ability to just I'm not going to give up, even though my life has been significantly altered. I have inspiration from him, that if this guy can get up and go to work and have the work ethic that he has, I don't have any excuses, So
it comes from the state of mind, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He was just like, I'm not going to use my disability as an excuse. And he's a photographer as well, and he doesn't have use of his right arm. He actually trained himself how to hold his camera with one hand. And when you see it, it looks very awkward when he's taking pictures. But that was just, I remember when he had a stroke and he couldn't use his arm, he would tie his shoes with his teeth. So he would make the loops, and then he would pull it through, and then he would pull it with his tooth through the other side. He didn't want me to help him. So just seeing that inspiration, and I'm grateful, just have a lot of gratitude, just seeing that, I have no excuses. I got to go after what I want.
And you put yourself in a position where you can teach others. So thank you for sharing that story. And we do say prayers for all of our friends, and for the strength of your husband to continue to inspire you, so you could go on and do the same for him, and teach the world and share with men and women all around that, like you said, that we don't have to have excuses. We can find solutions. So what do you do when you're having just one of those days? What do you do to bring yourself up a little bit?
I listen to inspirational music, a lot of gospel music, and I pray. Sometimes I'll just call a friend that can just lift me up. I've been blessed with some amazing friends. When I'm having a tough time, I can just reach out to them, as well as my sister. So those are the things that I do. I have my circle. I'm very particular about who I allow in my life. I think that's very important. I've always had really great friends. So those are the things and the people that I rely on in tough times.
That's fantastic to know. So the people that we surround ourselves with. And what about when somebody calls you and they're saying, I'm having a tough day? So what is that like for you? What do you do for one of your friends when they say that? Can you share some activities or behaviors?
Absolutely. Believe it or not, my friends call me quite a bit. You know, if they are in need, I pray with them. I just give them words of encouragement. I will. Sometimes I tell them they can call me 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and they'll pray. And I'm extremely blessed because my friends say that I'm one of the most consistent people that they've ever known. Like, they can call me anytime if they're in need. And just sometimes people just need someone to just talk to, have a shoulder to cry on. And I want to be a good friend. And so I think to have good friends, you have to be a good friend.
Yes, leading by example. And I know you talked about thank you for sharing that, by the way. I know you talked about your children before. Can you tell us a little bit about the children in your life and in your household in particular? You have some very energetic, high energetic people in your life. Let our audience know about that.
We actually have a blended family. My husband had 3 children by a previous relationship, and they have 1 child together.
Laurie, are you there?
I am.
Okay, looks like we had a little bit of a audio glitch there with our guest.
Yes. Maybe she'll be back on in a moment.
Yes, I'm sure she'll be back on. It's really great to know that we can fix those things in our life.
Ladies, I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. I had like a flash here, so my sincerest apologies.
That's okay. It happens. It happens. Not a problem. Go right ahead. So I lost audio maybe before everyone else, but if you would be kind enough to perhaps pick up in the last minute or so.
Absolutely. Can you repeat the question? I kind of panicked there for a little bit. About my family. Yes. About my family. I remember.
The wonderful, entertaining children that you have.
I have 4 children, okay? And we have a blended family, which I've been extremely blessed. I have a 22-year-old son. I have a 21-year-old daughter. I have a 20-year-old daughter, and I have an 8-year-old son. He just turned 8 Sunday. So he's the only one that lives in the home with us. But I've been extremely blessed. And this guy is a character, trust me. All of my kids are characters, but my eldest son and my youngest son, they by far are the characters of the bunch. Trust me, I can film a sitcom in my house with these 2 alone.
Well, you did mention to us earlier that communication is key. So if it's key in our credit score, it's key in our home, it's key to be able to be transparent. You mentioned that earlier to us, correct?
Absolutely.
Let me ask you another question. And we're live here. This is, things happen. We're hanging out. This is the way it goes. don't worry if we lose connection, we're not going anywhere, we're here. So we're okay with all of that. And our audience knows this is a real show, right? We're real people doing whatever. We can't control the internet. So we're here, we're hanging in there with you, just to let you know.
Thanks so much.
Yes, no, you pick up right where you left off. You're awesome. You're a true entertainer and a true professional. And thank you so much for you. So I'd like to give you the spotlight. You might have some questions, and I still have some questions for you, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of shift your thinking so you can bring it back. No, Laurie and I were here, but maybe there's something that you want to ask us. And Laurie and I love impromptu. I think it's amazing. And it's now becoming one of Laurie's favorite things to do. So would you like to ask one of us a question, or both of us the same question, and just direct it to us and we'll answer you, whoever you ask first?
Absolutely. Laurie, this question is for you. What advice would you give a female entrepreneur about getting ready to starting her business? Like what 3 things would you give her, would you suggest to her as she's starting her business?
Top 3 things. Wow. Well, it really depends on where she's starting at, but I would say some of the top things that has helped me along the way is using my calendar. So I was always relying on, I have a really great memory, which I do, but as my calendar got more full, I would find I would forget things, or, oh, wow, And so, I utilize technology, that's so great nowadays, right? So I have my phone, I have a Gmail, so I use the Gmail Google Calendar, and that automatically syncs with my phone, so I can access my calendar no matter where I'm at, whether I'm on my iMac, my MacBook Pro, my PC desktop, my phone, my iPad, or if, all my devices are missing for whatever reason, I can get on your laptop at your house and still access my calendar as long as I log into my account, right? So, so that's one thing that has just helped me. I put everything, I do time blocks on my calendar. And so every day, like for me, I'm Monday through Thursday, I'm up by 6:30. My day ends usually at midnight, and all of that is scheduled. That's not all work, but it's all scheduled. So my personal time scheduled, the time with my children is scheduled, my business time scheduled. I have, I have no notifications on my phone except for texting. So for example, I don't have those Facebook notifications like a lot of people do. I don't get distracted by that. I can't. I have my times that I log into Facebook. I have 15 minutes. I make a few posts, I do a few likes, and I do a few comments, and I'm off. And that's it. That's my time. And so I found when I put those time limits, then it allowed me to get more things done because I stick to those things. I don't read my emails, all throughout the day. I set a time, and it doesn't automatically come in. I have to click the button. And so that way when it's not my scheduled time, I'm not doing that part, So that's probably the very biggest thing that I have. The second biggest thing probably is just writing out your goals every day. And so I write goals in different ways. I write them once a year. In December, I write my goals for the following year that I want to happen, and in the present tense. And then I also write monthly goals, and then I write weekly goals, and then I write daily goals. So every day, every night before I go to bed, I have my Post-it notes, and I write things down of my goals of what I want to happen the next day. I write down my calendar that's on my phone, but I write it on my Post-it note, and it's right here on my desk. And so it's all my appointments and everything I have to do. And then on the back of that is my goals that I want to happen that following day. And so it could be I'm meeting with a client and I want to close a sale. You know, I will write that as one of my goals, right? And so, and then when I wake up in the mornings, then I review that. That's one of the first things I do is I come to my desk and I review my calendar. I review my goals, and then I rewrite my goals as in today's present tense. And then like Monday through Thursday, I do a 5-mile walk and I personal development. So I go on my treadmill. I have a treadmill desk set up and I do personal development. And that's probably the third most important thing I would say is personal development. I read and learned a long time ago that work on yourself 80% more and 20% on your business. So because the more you work on yourself, the more your business is going to increase. But you can work tirelessly in your business. And if you're not working on yourself, you're not going to increase that. So just like when you fix somebody's credit score and help them with that, if you're not fixing them on why they got there, then that doesn't help them anyway, right? Or they end up back in the same place. Well, the same thing, if I work my butt off in my business and make my business a success, because if you become a workhorse, you can have success, right? You can get there if you work enough. But if you don't have that personal development that's going to help you on your personal side, then you're not going to hold that success, right?
Absolutely. Thank you. That was some really good advice. And I remember when you came to speak to us, you talked about being organized. And that's something that I have really been focusing on, like writing out my goals when I get up in the morning, what I'm grateful for. That's the first thing that I do. So thank you for sharing that. Now, Catherine, I would like to know, you transitioned from being a psychologist. I meet so many people that are doing things or in a career that they feel like they're not being fulfilled. What would you suggest to someone that's wanting to transition from a career to becoming an entrepreneur? What are some of the things what is a couple of things that you would suggest that they do before they take that leap of faith?
Right. Thank you.
And I know that's very broad.
Thank you for asking the question. I'll answer in a focused manner. So everybody does things differently, but one thing I would suggest, if goal, for example, at 50 years old, you're going to change your life from being an engineer to being an entrepreneur. So you know when it's going to happen. You pick the date. You plan it. Your subconscious, your conscious, your bank account, your car, your rent, whatever it is that you're doing, all of that knows that there's a date and it will change. So if you know that you're going to go through a transition, it's usually not something that we're not talking about something that happens in our life that makes us change it. It's a conscious decision. So pick the date. Don't deviate from that date. If you say, I'm going to open up my own business on May 31st, oh, I think I'll wait till June because I just want to pay a few more bills because I need those paychecks. If you have a date, you have a date and you do it. You're going to pay a bill. You know the day you have to pay the bill. Like you said, if you're not going to pay the bill, call and give the story. But in the case of making a transition, plan for it. Maybe you don't want to plan 3 days in advance. You might want to pick the date with enough time so that you can make that transition. But remember, everybody works differently. So I'm an early adopter. Some people are planners. We need to do things differently. So what might work for one might not work for the other. But I would give one key phrase, and that is know when you're going to do it and do what you say you're going to do.
I love it. I love it. Thank you for sharing that with me. That is so important. I have set an exit date, ladies, for my job, my full-time job. So I'm super excited and I'm believing that it's going to happen. I'm making it happen.
Absolutely. Put it everywhere that you possibly can. Put it in your calendar. Okay. Put it in your book. If the date is February 14th, on February 15th, write first day as XYZ.
I love it. I love it.
So you focus on the future. So we don't have to say last day being X. We say first day being day 2, week 1. And you know how we plan ahead? So don't plan for the demise of the business that you're in. Plan for the growth of the new business.
I like that. That's awesome. Thank you, ladies. That was great advice. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for asking us. I love that part of the show. It just seems so nice to be able to hear what's on your mind. Now, there's something I want to ask you. Is there a story, a gratitude story that you would like to share with our audience so that they know a little bit more about you and why you're so passionate and why you're so dedicated and why you're so successful?
I would have to say, just when my clients come back to me and just tell me that you have changed my life, or given me the tools that I need to change my life, that is just so rewarding. I have a young lady that I've been working with on her credit, and she's been working on her credit for years and just was not getting anywhere. As a result, I got involved with her November of last year, and she's always wanted a home. I'm serious, ladies. She literally she's closing on her house June the 9th. I am so excited. And she was in tears because she said, I gave up. I did not think that it was possible. And I told her nothing is impossible. And you're thanking me, but I said, you did the work. And I said, I didn't let you give up, because I held her accountable as well. So that's another piece, just holding people accountable. And now she's closing on her home. So it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. So I was just grateful for that, just being a part of that journey, and her allowing me to be a part of that journey.
Now, thank you for sharing. Dreams do come true. Now, there are people in our audience right now, I'm sure, saying, that's me. I want to buy my first home. That's me. I want to arrange my credit. I want to look at it. I want to learn how to be transparent. I want to learn how to make that phone call. They don't know how to pick up the phone and speak to the company who they have their car loan with, or their mortgage company, or their landlord. What about this audience that wants to connect with you? How can they do that? Do you have a website, a Facebook page? Is there a way that our audience can tell their friends and tell their friends, if ever you have something that you want to fix? How do they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. I have an Instagram account as well as a Facebook account, and they're both at Starnes Group. So you can connect with me on Facebook, Starnes Group, and also on Instagram, Starnes Group. And I also have a website. It's www.my, F as in Frank, E, S as in Sam, / my first initial S, last name Starnes. So that's my FES / S as in Sam, Starnes. Those are the 3 ways that you can get in touch with me, as well as my telephone number, 615-593-2135. So
well,
way.
All of those. And Laurie and I will post that for you on Laurie, you're going to post that, on our Gratitude Girls page. Now, I've asked to be friends with you on Facebook. So
okay.
I would like very much to follow you, to know where you're speaking, to know if there are daily inspirations. Do you give any tips and tricks on how to stay on top of our credit anywhere?
Absolutely, I do. I post them on my Instagram page and my Facebook page. Also, ladies, I have a free ebook that I've written that gives like the top 10 steps to that you can work on to improve your credit score. I'll be more than glad to send that to either of you, and you can just send it out to your guests if it's something that they're interested in, because it's some very quick tips, things that they can do on their own. Because believe it or not, you can repair your credit on your own. You do not need to work with someone. It just takes diligence and time.
I certainly look forward to receiving that ebook. How about you, Laurie?
Yes, absolutely. And yes, I can add that on our page also as for people to contact you to get access to that book. So that would be wonderful.
Absolutely.
And once I read that ebook, where can I make a comment about it?
On my Instagram or my Facebook page, if you would like. Yes.
Okay.
And that information is in the ebook as well.
I will absolutely do that. I think that's amazing. That's amazing. You give hope. You let people know that there is another way. Whatever way someone has, they might have taken a long time to get there, but they can get out. So if it took them 10 years to dig that tunnel, doesn't mean it's going to take 10 years to get out of it. Because with your advice, with your expertise, with your guidance, one step, one foot in front of the other, and accountability, there is a new way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that's amazing. I'm so excited that you came onto our show tonight. Laurie, I don't look at the clock. I'm not wearing a watch. Is it that time? Tell me, is it that time?
Is that time again?
Okay.
Thank you, ladies. You guys are an inspiration to me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thanks for the advice that you gave as well. Love you, ladies.
Oh, you're welcome. Hang out with us. We're going to wrap up the show and say goodnight to our audience, and then we'll speak afterwards. Laurie, this was truly amazing. You know, we'll talk after the show, but what I want to tell you is it's divine intervention that we meet. Our Gratitude Girls show is really about what we give out to the universe, and you have given volumes to all of our audience. I'm so excited. Laurie, thank you so much for all that you do for us to be technologically of everyone. I don't know what we would do without you and your beautiful smile, your sense of humor, your great jokes. You had me going there today. I love what you did to me today. I was off my chair, ready to buy my plane ticket. You're amazing. I'm grateful for you. And would you be able to share with our audience, if they want to get on our show, if they want to be here with us, bantering and laughing and promoting their business and telling us a gratitude story, how do they do that?
Yes, absolutely. So connect with us on our Facebook group page. So facebook.com/gratitudegirls, and then just click on message and share with us your gratitude story. And then we'll get in contact with you to let you know when we can feature you next on one of our shows.
That's awesome. Laurie, thank you so much. And to our audience, thank you for being loyal, and thank you for listening to us and for sending us your stories and your comments. It means the world to both of us. I want to say good night. And until next month, the fourth Tuesday of every month, we will be right here, no matter what. Right, Laurie?
That's right. Every single month, the fourth Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, and 6:30 Pacific.
Until next month, thank you very much, and good night, everyone.
Good night.